Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Going to talk about severe weather going on. We're currently looking at the Sioux Falls, South Dakota National Weather Service radar. All the counties in yellow, tornado watch. That's in effect until 10 p.m. Central Time this evening. Right now, these boxes in red, we got 2 tornado warnings, and this looks like a really nasty line of thunderstorms. So we got tornado warning in effect for Turner and Yankton counties until 4:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. This evening. And that is actually, so you can see Yankton right here toward the bottom of your screen. So this is actually going to be north of Yankton. And so there's actually 2 tornado warnings here. This is the first one we're talking about right here. This storm is, again, this is in effect until 4:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time for Turner and Yankton counties. Currently, the storm is near Hurley, or 12 miles south of Parker, moving east at 50 miles an hour. So this is a very dangerous line of thunderstorms moving at a very fast rate of speed. So 12 miles south of Parker, here's Parker. So there's 2 tornado warning boxes here, but they're saying this is near Hurley or 12 miles south of Parker. So in looking at this, I'm not seeing on the reflectivity, I'm not seeing any indications of a confirmed tornado. We're going to switch over to the velocities to see where we're looking at. So again, here's Hurley. What we're looking at is the wind velocities being detected by Doppler radar going to and away from the Sioux Falls National Weather Service radar. So there's a pretty good circulation just to the west of Hurley. There's definitely some circulation right in this area in Turner County. So that's where the possible tornado would be, is in this area right here. So to look at the normalized rotation with that storm, so this is the normalized rotation. This is radar detecting rotation. You can see there is some rotation just going through Hurley right now. This isn't well defined, but I think this is more probably straight line winds than anything else. But there is definitely that spin looking at the velocities to this. So again, here's velocities. Again, this is winds going to and away from the radar site. So you can see this area right around Hurley here. That's the area of concern. And you can see this tornado warning box does also include Viborg, Centerville, Davis, and up toward Chancellor. The next extension of that would include Lenox as well when they extend that. So we also got a, hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to run the computer today and also talk at the same time, so I have to step away from the radar for a moment to be able to change things. All right, we got a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time for Lincoln and Turner counties. That goes all the way over. This includes Lenox, Canton. This goes all the way over to the Iowa border. Okay, you can see Sioux Falls right here, top of your screen. The worst of this right now, the worst part of this storm is actually going to remain to the south of the Sioux Falls area. We also got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Clay and Turner counties. That is in effect until 4:15 p.m. Okay, so one thing that's starting to concern me here is I'm looking at this right outside of Hurley. Look at this notch starting to form here on the back side of this. There's a pretty good inflow, not to mention a really phenomenal hail core developing. Let's go talk about the hail for a second. Then we're going to go back over to reflectivity. Velocities. So all the area in red, this is hail in red. Dark red's your large hail, your pockets of yellow here to the south of Hurley, down by Irene. This is actually your giant size hail. But there's a really good hail core, as you can see, with this line of supercell thunderstorms. All right, so the National Weather Service in Sioux Falls canceled. No, they have not canceled it. Excuse me. I just turned off the warning box. I was going to say. Okay, so tornado warning still remains in effect for about another 5 minutes for this thunderstorm. And like I said, there's that circulation right around Hurley here that's making me think there could potentially now be something here. Hurley. Here's Hurley. Even up toward Parker, looks like there could be some rotation. There's looks like some really strong winds in between Hurley and Davis right now. Tornadoes always normally form on the back side of the storm. So could be potentially to the west of Hurley there. All right, I'm going to switch back over to velocities, or reflectivity, excuse me. So mainly what I'm seeing is a very large hail core here. Still got this tornado warning in effect. thinking, well, this isn't as well defined as the last sweep of the radar was. So probability of hail with this storm is 91%. Probability of straight line wind, 72%. 32% probability of this thing dropping a tornado right now. 32% probability. Hail, 2 inches, 2.1 inch hail with this one right now. It looks like there is some pretty good shear going with this too. But looking at the reflectivity, this is not really well defined. This isn't really telling me there's anything on the ground at this time. So this looks like this is still just radar indicated. So then the other storm that's getting going right now, we got this storm over into McCook County. This is going to be for this storm right here by Bridgewater. This is non-severe at this time, but this looks like this is another growing cell as well. This one, three-quarter, in between 3/4 and 1 inch hail. Hail is 0.81 inches. Probable wind speed, or probable straight line wind damage, 59%. 12% probability of a tornado. Let's just see what data changed. Actually, probability with that last update just went up 1% on this storm now dropping a tornado. So we got a 13% probability with this one. Hail still right around 3/4 of an inch. So let's take a look at the velocities on this one as well. The tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Looks like we got some winds. You might have some rotation to the southeast of Bridgewater, north of Freeman. That's just a strong thunderstorm right now. We're going to go back toward, if you're in Lenox, you need to take cover now. So, again, if you're in Lenox, you need to take cover. This is going to be on your doorstep momentarily. So, currently in South Dakota, we have severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect until 3:45 p.m. Mountain Time, 4:45 p.m. Central Time for Lincoln and Turner counties. So that's currently the only severe storm we have. So let's kind of back out a little bit, because that's just round number 1, ladies and gentlemen. That's just round number 1. And I say that because look what's still in between Mitchell and Chamberlain here. You can see that there's more cells starting to develop. we're going to go ahead and open up Lightning Tracker. Just see what that's showing us. Probably going to be a lot of lightning. Yes. That's a lot of light, and that's just the lightning that the Sioux Falls radar is currently detecting. So the Sioux Falls radar is currently detecting almost 1,400 lightning strikes currently. So there's still this storm into Turner County, Turner, Lincoln counties. This looks like this is a straight line wind hail producer. This line of thunderstorms does have a history of producing 70-mile-an-hour winds. Looks like we got a storm damage report in Hutchinson County, 8 miles south of Freeman. Damage to large road signs near the intersection of Highway 81 and 18. So that tells me that's some pretty good winds to topple over a large road sign. So McCook, Turner counties, you need to be prepared for this line of thunderstorms as they come into the area. So when we start talking about 3-inch, 2-inch hail is egg size, 3-inch hail is teacup size. So you're talking hailstones here falling anywhere from 70 to 85 miles an hour. So that's some pretty good size hailstones. So what to expect today, for folks in the southeastern part of South Dakota? Storms are going to be possible in between from now until midnight tonight. Areas in orange is under a enhanced risk for severe weather. With this, I mean, this was the update as of 5 o'clock this morning, so this might be a little outdated. I have not looked to see if there's any new data to talk about there. So, and this is just talking about the hail, damaging wind, and tornado probabilities for southeastern South Dakota, which includes Sioux Falls, Yankton, Vermilion, Pipestone, Minnesota, Omaha, Nebraska. So you can see 2-inch plus, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and tornadoes are all possible with these storms. All right, National Weather Service in Sioux Falls has issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. Back to radar here. This includes the city of Sioux Falls. So this will be for Lyon, Rock, Lincoln, Minnehaha, and Turner counties. So that's western Lyon County and northwestern Iowa, southern Rock County and southwestern Minnesota, southern Minnehaha County and southeastern South Dakota, northeastern Lincoln County and southeastern South Dakota, northeastern Turner County and southeastern South Dakota until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Line of thunderstorms was located extending from near Chancellor to Lenox to near Worthing, moving east of 40, 70 mile an hour straight line winds and quarter size hail possible with that storm. All right, let's look at the velocities again. Again, from that line stretching from Lenox over to Parker, looks like there's definitely some really good winds going on there. Looks like to the northwest of Beersford, right along Highway 18 south of Lenox, north by northwest of Beersford. Looks like there's some rotation going on there. And most of the... So I was looking in between Lenox and Beersford. This is looking at the normalized rotation. Nothing organized to make me believe of any tornadic activity. Give me a second here to switch sources. So this storm has 1.25-inch hail, max wind gust 69 knots, moving east at 41. Let's look at turn on some probability tools here. Nope, that's probability of tornado. That's not what I want. Here we go. All right, so this storm currently has a 40% probability of a tornado right now. So, okay. So we're looking at a 40% probability of this storm still dropping a tornado. So basically you're at a 50-50 shot with this line of thunderstorms. Let me move the lightning count out of the way. Still not, I'm looking for that textbook hook, and I'm not per se seeing it yet. I'm not seeing it yet with this storm. I'm just not seeing that hook in here outside of Davis to make me believe there's a tornado there, but I will say there is. Okay, radar just updated, so I'm going to shut the probability tool off. Okay, so I'm still seeing a big hail core just north of Highway 18, south of Lenox, northeast of Davis, to the east of Davis, I should say, with this storm. So I'm just looking at the velocities. Looks like there might be some spin going on in between Lenox and T right now. But the worst of this is actually toward the south of the Sioux Falls metro area at this time. Back to reflectivity. So we're going to zoom out so you folks can get the bigger picture here. So you can see we got this warm front stretching up into Hamlin County, Clark County, Spink County. Everything's lifting, as you just saw with that last update, everything's shifting to the north as this cold front right here pushes everything to the east. It's going to push everything to the east, toward Sioux Falls, toward Mitchell. The worst of the severe weather is going to stay along I-29 in areas to the south of Interstate 90. Currently, there is no tornado warnings in effect, but, however, this is just round number one. Again, right along this cold front from Mitchell west to the Missouri River to Chamberlain, that's round number two. So we'll see if these storms can gain strength to become supercell thunderstorms, or if this is going to suck up all the energy in the atmosphere, because this is a pretty nasty line that's going to push off into Iowa. All right, and to talk about looking at the Hastings, Nebraska, it's not just South Dakota that's affected by this. We're into Nebraska, and they had severe weather last night south of Interstate 80, but this is just to the north, west of Grand Island. As you can see, there's more thunderstorms down here in Nebraska that are going to be working their way in that northeasterly direction. So you folks in northeastern Nebraska need to be on the lookout for severe weather as well. Okay, new tornado warning came out. So the National Weather Service in Sioux Falls has just issued a tornado warning for Minnehaha. This is going to be tornado warning That's going to be for this red box right here. This is a tornado warning in effect for northwestern Lyon County in northwestern Iowa. This is going to be southeastern Minnehaha County in northern Lincoln County in southeastern South Dakota until 5:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 4:27 p.m. Central Daylight Time, severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado located over T or 9 miles southwest of Sioux Falls, moving east at 40. Radar indicated rotation. Thunderstorm will be around Sioux Falls, Harrisburg T, around 4:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So this is going to be on the southern part of the Sioux Falls metro area. So we're looking at this area right here is what we're looking at. This area just right outside T, maybe stretching over toward Harrisburg right here. It's going to be along this line that makes me think that there's definitely a lot of rotation going on where this bright green's meeting that dark red. So let's pull up the probability tool to take a look at this. Looking at a 38% probability of a tornado with this storm. Hail size, 1 3/4, 1.71 inches. Probability of hail, 80%. With this, give me a second, I need to pull up a cheat sheet here. So the max LLAZ shear is the amount of shear winds changing direction and speed down to each single radial degree of a radar sweep. So this is helpful for straight line winds or downbursts. So the 98%, here we go. So the 98% LLAC shear, that is the way to measure rotation in a storm. It's derived from the radar velocity data. Low level is 0 to 2 kilometers. This is more applicable to tornado potential. And right now that's at 0.008, which is strong. Again, area of concern is going to be right around T over toward Harrisburg. So back to reflectivity. So, and it's going to be tough to get a clean read on this radar or on this part of the storm because of its close proximity right here to the Sioux Falls radar location. So it's real tough to get a clean look at this storm and what's really going on with it at this time. But tornado warning in effect for Minnehaha County, Minnehaha and Lincoln County, excuse me. Radar's indicated rotation with this storm. So this severe thunderstorm warning for Lincoln and southeastern Turner counties, which includes Worthing to Beersford. This thing has 80-mile-an-hour straight-line wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. This was warned for thunderstorm damage threat, destructive, hail threat, radar indicated max hail size 1.25 inches, max wind gusts 80 miles an hour. So the question becomes, if I can find the right image on my computer. So the question here becomes, what? So the question here becomes, what's happening out in the Black Hills, out in western South Dakota, where we live? That's a fun question. Today, thunderstorms highs 50 to low 50s to mid 60s. Showers and thunderstorms, some may be strong, especially in south central South Dakota. Tomorrow, look what happens. This cold front comes through. Look at our fancy icon here. Rain mixing with snow. 30 temperatures tomorrow, ranging anywhere from the mid-30s to upper 40s. Tuesday it warms back up into the 50s with chance of rain and snow early, clearing skies. All right. So the other tornado warning that's out is actually into Nebraska, just right around the Grand Island area right now. We'll pull up the Hastings, switch over to the Hastings radar here. Give you a look at this. That's just right outside of Grand Island, Nebraska. That looks like a pretty organized thunderstorm 16 miles west of Grand Island, moving northeast 35. 2-inch hail possible, but the top of the rotation's going to 31,000 feet with that storm, with the depth of the rotation going up to 27,000 feet. So you can see that inflow on this storm. There is a notch on the back side of this one. So we'll go ahead and switch inputs just so we can talk about this for a second. I do got friends in Nebraska that do enjoy watching. So if any of my friends in Nebraska are currently watching, hello. So I'm looking at the back side of this it's going to be right in this area where this hook is, right here. This is where your possible tornado would be in Nebraska. Here's Grand Island. So it'd be about 15 miles to the west of Grand Island. Storms, see, as you just saw with as we saw with the Sioux Falls radar and even with the Hastings radar, they're saying that cold front that I was talking about earlier is pushing everything off to the east, but all the cells are actually moving north. So that's a very interesting factor to keep an eye on. So again, it will be right in this area, right here, where we'd be looking for that potential tornado. And this is not as well defined as what the tornado warning is in Minnehaha County in South Dakota. So, again, I'm going to guess it's down in this area right here where it would be. Nothing confirmed at this time. Okay, it looks like the National Weather Service in Sioux Falls has made a update to the severe thunderstorm warning box. This is a severe thunderstorm considerable, with a considerable threat. 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch hail. Anything new on the tornado warning? Does not appear to be so. Okay, it looks like the strongest part of the rotation on this cell, on this tornado warning cell, it's going to be right here along the intersection of Interstate 229 and Interstate 29, where they intersect in Lincoln County, just to the south, on the south side of Sioux Falls. See that area in green right here? That's going to be where your strongest part of your rotation is going to be with this cell. Otherwise, that looks like, to me, that's just a straight line wind event. But, all right, so the radar data just updated. And as you can see now, this is kind of tracking along Interstate 229 right now, pushing off into Iowa and Minnesota. So basically what we're watching for is we got this initial line of supercell thunderstorms. Looks like we got some 1-inch hail in the Harrisburg area. They just made a update on the tornado warning. Must have clicked the wrong warning box. So at 4:44 p.m. Central Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado around Lake Alvin or near Sioux Falls, moving east 35. So again, this is a radar indicated threat. With this storm. So what we're going to be watching over the next probably hour or two is what's all this stuff from Mitchell west to Chamberlain, all this stuff off to the west. This is sliding north. Going north if you watch the radar loop. This stuff is sliding to the east. Reason being for that, is the cold front right here. This is the reason why. So, for now, I'm Landon Wiley. That's our current update on the weather going on here in South Dakota. Let's jump over to the Rapid City radar just to see what it's showing us. And it's not showing too much outside of showers trying to get going even on the backside of that cold front. Give me a minute. I will turn on. So if we look over here into Wyoming, we got all sorts of stuff going on. To our west into Wyoming, we got a freeze warning in effect. We got winter storm warnings in effect. Yes, parts of Natrona County, Wyoming, which does include Casper, they're talking 10 foot or two in the higher elevations out in the Natrona County, Wyoming. Down here in yellow into Nebraska, that will be our tornado watch. So let's just talk about that tornado watch. Actually, I think there's two tornado watches issued. They issued one for Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska. And then they issued one for South Dakota. Okay, so with that all being said, we're going to switch back to the Sioux Falls radar if we can here. Give me a minute as I try to find the information I want here to talk about. It's not being friendly. Interesting. So it is not, so my program's not actually showing me the information that I want currently, which I'm not 100% sure why. That is. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, now I got it figured out. All right, so we're talking tornado watch in effect for Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, South Dakota until 10 p.m. this evening. Probability of 2+ tornadoes, 70%. 50% probabilities of 1+ tornado being an EF2 to EF5. Probability of 10 or more severe wind events, 60%. Probability of wind events up to 65 knots, 50%. 60% probability severe hail events. 50% probability of one or more, or being one or more cells producing 2 inches or greater hail. Threat, max hail size 3 inches, straight line wind gusts 70 miles an hour. So that's the readout on this tornado watch. As you can see, this includes Yankton, Sioux Falls, Mitchell, Del Rapids, Vermilion, Sioux City, Iowa. And this goes all the way down into Nebraska, Grand Island, Omaha as well. So that's the current update on the weather. Oh, now we got a confirmed tornado, and that's going to be into Nebraska. So let's pull up the Hastings radar here. We're going to turn reflectivity back on. We're going to clean this up, and we're going to see what we're looking at here. So this thunderstorm really went really just ramped up and intensified here. So they actually had a tornado, a confirmed tornado 4 miles northeast of Harrow. Not sure I'm pronouncing that right. In Hall County, Nebraska. Just south of Dannenbrog, or 14 miles northwest of Grand Island, moving northeast 35. Damaging tornado to Winchell. Weather spotters confirmed tornado. So that would be for west central Merrick, southeastern Howard, and north central Hall counties in Nebraska. And that's right along that warm front being pushed by that cold front. And all this is going to push up toward the Sioux City area. So for now, that's the current weather update. So stay tuned for further weather updates.